Hey everyone, welcome to SweatchMan channel. Today I'm trying out something new. I'll be showcasing different high damage fights or any other interesting battles, and along the way I'll be narrating what's happening in the fight, pointing out some key moments worth mentioning. Overall, I'll just be chatting about something intriguing. If you enjoy this kind of content, please let me know. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll do my best to make these videos regularly. Today I find this fascinating battle featuring the FV215b on the Yukon map. I have to say, this tank feels amazing right now, almost like a medium tank. And Yukon map is perfect for utilizing this tank's strengths. Also, notice that our main hero isn't carrying adrenaline but instead opts for reactive armor consumables. It's a controversial choice, but it certainly works well for the main character of this video. Right at the beginning of the battle, the enemy chieftain comes charging at full speed and unleashes an incredible shot at our hero. But oddly enough, the shot misses the chieftain. It's a fair play, but let's see what unfolds next. Minotaur is a heavily armored tank, so even premium shells sometimes struggle to penetrate it. Nevertheless, our ally in the Strav K seems to be in a rush to leave the battle. Perhaps the map doesn't suit his style. By the way, regarding our main hero, he's a very experienced and skilled player, which even have a professional avatar. So you might want to take note of how he plays. Specifically, pay attention to his position. In most cases, playing on this map warrants being in this position, except if all your allies are heading towards the direction of medium tanks, in which case, join them. And now you can see why there are so many high explosive shells in the ammunition loadout. The FV215b in general boasts very powerful high explosive rounds, and as you can see, they have enough penetration to punch through most tanks straight on. There will be a moment coming up where I was utterly shocked by the penetration power of these shells. Returning to the battle, I want to point out that throughout the entire fight, the reactive armor consumables weren't used as intended. So you can draw conclusions about how useful adrenaline could have been in this battle. Also, take a look at mistake made by the object 268-4. Remember, never let anyone get behind you if you're playing a turretless tank destroyer. It often ends badly, as we'll see here. Notice how quickly the events unfold in the battle. The enemy team aggressively pushes forward, leaving no chance for our side. Even the Minotaur tracks our main hero, leaving him vulnerable to a single shot. I want to point out that at this moment, most players would have given up and not even attempted anything. This resilience is a key trait of any skilled player. Even with low hit points, they'll try to maximize their impact. It's thanks to this attitude that we get to witness such intense battles. Of course, luck plays a part as the player takes out the enemy light tank on the move, but overall, the gun's accuracy allows for such moves. Once again, notice what our video hero does. Instead of fleeing far away, he simply rolls back and takes up a favorable position. There's a living Jagdpanzer E100 nearby for now, so the enemies won't be able to push us from different sides quickly. Also, there's a convenient rock nearby that can help angle against shots, although I strongly advise against side scraping in a tank like this. Maximum angling is crucial here. Additionally, pay attention to the hill. It gives you an advantage if the enemy decides to push you head on. Overall, there's room for maneuver here, which could influence the outcome of the battle. For now, nothing much is happening. Our remaining allies are holding on, but their survival won't last long, so we're just waiting for the right moment. The enemy T-30 is relentless, waiting for the moment when the FV player makes a mistake. In such a situation, it's crucial indeed not to make an error, as the enemy already has you in their sights. All it takes is a slight over-rotation of your turret, and your battle could be over. And finally, T-30 goes into reload and notice that it's firing standard shells. If it were using premium rounds, the FV215b's turret would likely appear vulnerable, and it could be easily penetrated in that position. No rock would have helped then. Thankfully, our main hero understands this and never stops moving, especially when playing turret down. Even with standard shells, you can still get a penetration on the commander's hatch at the center of the turret. So, when playing the FV215b, always keep moving. And now, the moment that surprised me the most. High explosive shells easily penetrate the front of the T-30's hull. Right now, the FV player is left alone against 4 enemies. Fortunately, the T-30 was quickly destroyed. It made a huge mistake by turning its turret away from our hero, and for that it's sent back to the garage. And now even the Minotaur makes a massive mistake. It relied too much on its armor and boldly went over the hill. For that, it immediately follows the fate of the T-30. But what surprised me the most is that the AMX, seeing all this, makes the exact same mistake. By the way, it had a chance to kill our hero, but for some reason it didn't take it. Initially, I thought maybe it didn't have the right gun depression angles, but as I understood it, it simply didn't manage to press the fire button in time. And after all that happened, even the VK72.01 didn't learn the lesson and decided to push forward boldly. But in its situation, it might seem like a viable choice given its high hit points. Although if you're facing a player with a pro avatar, I would start doubting my actions. And here you can see how lucky the FV player got. It's thanks to this moment that the battle still continues. I don't know what it was. Perhaps the VK missed the gray area due to nervousness. Also, notice that the player is not just shooting at the side of the VK, but specifically at its tracks. This way, the VK would have used up its repair kit, and most likely, it was its last one. This is another characteristic of skilled players. They'll force you to use your repair kit, only to catch you off guard later, putting you in a disadvantageous position, essentially making you lose. In this situation, the player with the FV has some advantages. Firstly, they have a gun with good elevation angles, and secondly, the rock allows them to maneuver around it and capitalize on the opponent's mistakes. Again, the FV player chooses not to shoot directly at the gray area, but instead aims for the tracks. Now, if the VK had a second repair kit, it would have used it up. However, as it turns out, the VK didn't have a second repair kit. Judging by the fact that it healed a crew member, it seems the VK was carrying a first aid kit instead of a repair kit. This is a common mistake among inexperienced players. Please always carry 2 repair kits with you. And now, the VK makes another huge mistake. It decides to push forward without a repair kit. As you can imagine, this ends badly for it, and the FV player successfully tracks it again. This deals damage, allowing the FV player to retreat safely while the VK's tracks are being repaired. As I mentioned earlier, this is a common practice among skilled players. Finally, the VK realizes that it can't just push forward recklessly, but as it often happens, it realizes this when it's already too late. It's important to note that time is running out, with only 1 minute left. In most cases, in such situations, you tend to forget about checking the time and solely focus on the battle. But the main character likely has experience and can see that there's less than a minute remaining. So, something needs to be done. Here's my advice. If there's less than 30 seconds left, you should take risks, because a draw is a defeat for both teams. So, it's better to try than to simply give up. VK makes mistake again. It took a shot it wasn't sure of. And now it's a guaranteed opportunity to retaliate. On one hand, the VK made an error, but on the other hand, the FV player got a bit lucky. After all, the VK was firing premium rounds, and there was a high chance that the turret armor wouldn't hold up. And finally, using the precision of the gun and high shooting skill, the main character made the victory in this battle. Of course, there were a few moments where luck was on the side of the main character, but overall, 8,100 damage and 7 enemies destroyed, and a well-deserved ace medal. This battle shows us the importance of perseverance and seeing things through to the end. Now, let's take a look at the player's statistics. As you can see, this is a highly skilled player with a large number of battles and very high stats. The damage dealt in tier 10 tanks is excellent, and throughout the battle it was evident that the player knew what they were doing. Now let's take a look at the statistics of the other players, starting with the enemy team. And to be honest, most of the players here don't seem to possess much skill. Only the chieftain stood out as a formidable opponent, but it made a silly mistake and possibly ruined its own battle. Allies, much like the enemies, don't exhibit high performance either. By the way, this battle was played under the new matchmaking system, and you can assess how players are grouped based on their statistics. In this particular battle, I didn't notice any significant difference in balance compared to previous battles. Well, thank you for watching the video. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Would you like to see more videos like this from me or not? Bye for now.